Hi guys, this is James from CVG
and Joel from Official PlayStation Magazine,
and we are here looking at the brand new Black Ops 2 trailer.
Yeah, we are. It's exciting times.
Joel, you've just come back from LA after seeing this.
I did. I've seen it. I've seen a couple of demos. I've spoken to some men who are making it and that, and it actually looks really exciting.
Excellent. So first things first, as we see here in the trailer, it's 2025, so it's a near future setting.
It is. It's 13 years out. They're going for plausible authenticity in the future. So a lot of the stuff you'll see is sort of based on military tech that's up and coming.
And this guy we see here is Frank Woods, returning character from Black Ops 1.
Yeah, this is Woods, who travels along with you throughout quite a lot of the Black Ops missions as your sort of military buddy. He's quite angry and quite gruff, and now he's extremely old. I don't know exactly how old, but he must be about 90, given when Black Ops was taking place in the late 60s. And so now we're quite a long way into the future. So yeah, he's pretty old.
And moving on here, as the Treyarch logo flashes up, we've got some dates and time zone things there from the first Cold War, and then they transmorphify into the...
Yeah, so basically we've got some late 80s, 23rd of July, I guess that is, in American speak. And so basically most of Black Ops 2 is going to be set in 2025, but you will be playing through some missions set in the late 80s. So they're going to be sort of narrated and told through the memory of Woods when you go back to the 80s.
As it plays on through here, there is a small sort of attack drones we can see crashing into the city.
There's lots of fancy tech going on here. So some of that stuff you've just seen will reappear, and you can actually play with it. But this is part of the gameplay demo that I saw. So basically this is, I think they said about 2/3 of the way through the game, certainly quite late in the game, and the villain, Raul Menendez, has taken control of the US drone fleet and is crashing it into a load of big buildings in downtown LA. So he's gotten inside the military infrastructure and is now turning it against you.
And that's the things we can see here, like the huge sort of mechanical warfare setting.
Yeah, that's a big focus, obviously. So they talked a lot at Treyarch about how war is becoming less human and there's going to be a lot more unmanned tech, and this is kind of one of those dystopian visions where what if it all goes wrong and someone basically hacks it all, and then things get all a bit exploding.
And this freeze frame here is from the quad rotor cockpit view.
Right, yeah, so this looks very much like, and I'm pretty sure it's from one of the new Strike Force missions, which is the sandbox gameplay types, which basically you can control either a squad of Marines, you can sort of drop into each one of the Marines, or a load of the tech. And yeah, this is from one of the 4 rotored drones, which has a sort of assault rifle on the front, so you can actually control it, fly it around yourself, and use it to shoot men if you're too cowardly to do it in person.
Because we can see in the bottom left there, you get a couple of command buttons to make your squad follow instructions. So.
Yeah, exactly. So this is very much a sandbox gameplay type in a sort of multiplayer environment, and you can, like I say, you can play it in any of the things on screen, the men or the tech, or you can actually become a battle commander where you watch it from up high and sort of play it in a kind of RTS style.
And here's another bit of fancy tech, which we can see is controlled by a D. Mason.
D. Mason, so that's David Mason, so that's son of Black Ops protagonist Alex Mason. We don't exactly know yet how and when sort of you have your Mason Jr. and how he gets involved in the military, but yeah, he's going to be, as far as I'm aware, the main protagonist for the future sections, obviously not the 80s sections. And yeah, he's got this fancy wrist-mounted bendy screen with which you can kind of see the map, and you can also use that to call in strikes of those quad rotors that we saw in the single player campaign. So you sort of set a waypoint and 4 of them will come in and kind of mini airstrike the target. And
we can also see that it's 3rd of October in this clip, so it's obviously come on a few months from the beginning of this trailer.
Yeah, so I'm presumably the Woods sort of speech is set, and then his prophecies come true, as it were, during this attack on, I think this is again the attack on downtown LA. So
just here now we can see some more bits of LA.
We can, and some more of that fancy tech. So again, we're sort of interspersing some Strike Force stuff with the downtown LA. See, this is Strike Force, and then we've got more downtown LA. Now we got Old Man Woods again. He's kind of there warning of what's going to happen in the future, and then it's all going to come to pass, I guess. And now I believe we're back in the Cold War 80s. I could be wrong about this, so because I saw a tech demo of we're going to see some horses in a minute.
Yes.
And so that was part of one of the flashback missions, certainly. So I'm presuming this is all interlinked into that.
So those bits aren't future missions?
No. From what I saw, the horse section was when you're back in the Cold War 1980s. Yeah, so there's you sort of jump back and forwards, as they like to do in Black Ops, between what we're seeing now and some of the 80s stuff. So yeah, we're back here with this is another section I saw where there's a sort of low-flying chase among skyscrapers in LA. So again, you player controlling the jet, and it all gets very, very highly paced and frantic, and a lot of guns. And
I imagine this bit is on rails, right? And
you know what? It kind of looked like it wasn't. I didn't actually play it myself, but there was a guy demoing it. But there was certainly a vehicular section in a truck where he was at the controls, and it very much looked like he was in control of this, although it was going incredibly quickly. So maybe that'd be a bit difficult.
And as we go through here, we see a few more explosions.
Yeah, that's one of those. Yeah, those. There you go. The great slow-mo COD things where the police helicopter gets down and then all the street gets blown up, and that's basically when you take control in that level. You kind of emerge from your APC, which you're in right now, and just out of shot, I believe, is the president who you're supposed to be keeping safe.
Oh, excellent.
Lady President in 2025.
Just like 24.
Right, okay, sure. I'll take your word for that one.
And this is one of the guns we can see here, which has got a thing on the side that you can flick down from. It looks like the safety, and then up into F, which we're assuming is full auto.
That would be a good guess. I didn't actually see much use of the pistol, although some of the fancy guns, they're sort of electric powered now, as opposed to that would make sense. Rather than gunpowder powered. And they have fancy things like the sniper rifle has a scope that you can see through walls, but also a high powered shot so you can actually shoot through walls. So there's going to be a lot of new toys to play with, like this fancy full auto pistol.
And it also looks a lot like here that the gun has a QR code on the side of it, which we couldn't get to work because it's not high enough resolution.
See, you've noticed something I haven't. I didn't. Yeah, that very much does look like a QR code. Maybe that's going to be some in-game Easter egg, or maybe we're just chasing nothing. Oh, look at that. That is arty. Lovely arty pose there from probably Mr. D. Mason. There he is again. And gunships, yeah.
Now this is in full colour, as opposed to when you're in like AC-130s, and it is in black and white.
Yeah, absolutely. So presumably this is, again, future technology. You don't have to see heat-seeking things and stuff in sort of grainy blur of vision. So you've now got a full colour cannon. And, again, I didn't see this part of the level played out, but the presumption is going to be that it's going to be very much like an AC-130 level, where you're kind of zooming in, maybe going from ground up into the air. But yeah, it's nice to actually be able to see this in kind of full detail rather than just night vision or something similar.
And now we come on to what we've been waiting for.
Yeah,
the horses.
And a helicopter. So I saw a very brief demo of what looked like the beginning of this level, which was set again back in the 1980s when you're in Afghanistan fighting with the Mujahideen against the Soviet forces. So a lot of the flashbacks are going to be to do with how the new villain, Raul Menendez, kind of came to be and came to get his motivations. Treyarch have said they're aiming to make a more well-rounded villain this time, so he's going to get a lot more screen time, and you're going to really be able to understand sort of what he's doing and why he's doing it. So these sections are basically here to pad that out, and all of these, well, maybe not all of these horses, but some of these horses were actually fully performance captured in the Treyarch motion capture studio. They used real horses.
Well, that'll get you some proper horse action.
Exactly. So yeah, the horses should look very good. Yeah, so you can see quite a lot of the new tech. So there's more of the quad rotors. You keep seeing that sort of four-legged droid thing coming around, which is called the Claw, which is like a new walking tank with a massive cannon on top of it. So there's a lot of fancy new gadgetry around.
And here we're back inside, I'm assuming something like the AC-130, but it's gone back to black and white.
Yeah, you've got me here, to be perfectly honest. This is a new one on me. I guess it'll be probably a player-controlled section, but I can't honestly say why one was in colour and one wasn't. So my expertise has kind of run out there.
Now, this guy here, we can see on his name tag that it is Harper.
Harper, right, okay.
And that he is part of Black Ops, where he has a Black Ops emblem on him.
Yeah, so I mean, presumably the dynamic will be much like it was with Mason and Woods in the last game. So you probably have a character who runs through a lot of the story missions with you. One interesting thing, very interesting thing that's said is how the story will diverge at certain key points depending on both choices you make and how well you play through the missions, and that will also dictate which characters live or die, and not just kind of background characters but real key cast members. So who knows about this dude here, but there will most likely be certain characters whose fate lies in your hands. So if you're not good enough, or maybe if you have to make certain choices along the way, you will be in charge of bumping certain people off.
And finally then we get to the ending screen, which actually looks like it has a random set of numbers on, but if you type them in, they're actually GPS coordinates. So they point to Los Angeles, obviously, Yemen, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, and Mongo in North Africa.
Right, okay, so yeah, so like we said, I've seen the LA demo, which is what most of this trailer is about. The Afghanistan section was, I'm pretty sure, the one on the horses, and a lot of the flashbacks are going to take place sort of where the proxy wars were fought during the real Cold War, as opposed to this future Cold War. And also a lot of the Strike Force sandbox missions are going to take place outside of the USA, because the Cold War in Black Ops 2, for those who don't know, is between the USA and China. A lot of the sandbox missions are going to take place to do with the Chinese side of the war. So there will be, as there is in most COD games, a lot of globe-trotting, both back into the past and while you're sort of fighting abroad in the Strike Force missions.
And obviously with all Call of Duty, we've got the return of multiplayer and zombies, which we've seen in the interview that you did.
Yeah, we do. Last time there was a huge amount of speculation for a long time as to whether zombies would be in there, even though we all knew it would really. So they've announced it up front this time. There is going to be zombies. They teased us a little bit by saying that the zombies engine can handle not just twice as many zombies, but twice as many co-op players. So I'm thinking team modes for that, perhaps.
8 player zombie co-op?
Yeah, they said it can handle up to 8, so expect to see that. And multiplayer, of course, they're keeping that fairly tightly under wraps at the moment, although they have said it's going to be rather stripped back and also influenced by esports, so competitive gaming, and social media. Not quite sure how that's going to work, but looking at the fundamentals, so why things work the way they do, so that could be very interesting. And Black Ops multiplayer was a really excellent step forward for COD, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did something similar this time around.
Okay, well that is Black Ops 2. It is out 13th of November. We'll obviously have lots more for you coming to the game's release, so please subscribe and we'll see you next time.
Bye.